My friends, the world today is changing faster than ever before. We see old powers losing their grip, new alliances forming, and small nations surprising even the mightiest. But among all these shifts, there is one story that many in the West did not expect, the story of Pakistan. For decades, this nation was seen through a narrow lens, often underestimated, sometimes ignored, and at times misunderstood. Yet today, it has made a move that has left many in shock. A move that is not just about politics or economics, but about dignity, resilience, and vision. I want you to imagine this. A country that was once thought of as dependent, standing tall and declaring to the world that it will no longer be defined by others' expectations. This is not just a change in policy, it is a change in mindset, in courage, and in leadership. And when a nation changes its mindset, it changes its future. In the next few minutes, I invite you to open your minds and hearts, because what you hear is not just about Pakistan. It's about how a nation can break free from the chains of limitation, how it can create opportunities where none seem to exist, and how it can surprise the world when the world least expects it. Stay with me until the end, because this story carries lessons not only for Pakistan, but for anyone who dares to dream bigger than their circumstances. This is how Pakistan shocked the West with its latest move, and why the world will never see it the same way again. Pakistan's recent economic maneuver has caught the attention of the world, not because it was sudden, but because it was strategic, deliberate, and transformative. For decades, Pakistan's economy was perceived as dependent on Western financial institutions, aid packages, and conditional loans that often restricted its ability to chart an independent course. The latest shift, however, reflects a maturity in economic thinking that moves beyond reliance on traditional Western alliances. Instead, Pakistan has diversified its economic portfolio by creating strong and sustainable partnerships with emerging economies, regional blocs, and non-traditional markets. This transition has not only reduced vulnerability to external pressures, but has also allowed Pakistan to project itself as a resilient and forward-looking nation. At the heart of this shift lies Pakistan's growing engagement with regional economies. By deepening its economic ties with China, Turkey, Central Asian states, and the Gulf region, Pakistan has positioned itself in the middle of a dynamic economic corridor. These partnerships are not just transactional. They are built on shared development goals, infrastructure cooperation, and investment in long-term projects that promise stability. For instance, initiatives like the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, are no longer seen merely as bilateral agreements, but as a gateway for Pakistan to integrate into global. Moreover, Pakistan's trade diversification strategy has focused on expanding exports beyond traditional goods. By exploring opportunities in technology, agriculture, and services, Pakistan has aimed to unlock sectors that were often overshadowed by dependence on textile and manufacturing industries. This broadening of the economic base reduces the risks associated with fluctuations in a single sector, while creating new avenues for job growth and innovation. The economic pivot is also supported by Pakistan's effort to seek investment rather than aid. This distinction is crucial because it highlights a change in mindset. Where once Pakistan relied heavily on bailouts and conditional packages, it is now actively working to attract foreign direct investment through regulatory reforms, tax incentives, and digital infrastructure improvements. This sends a clear message to the world that Pakistan is open for business, not charity. For the West, this comes as a surprise because it challenges a long-held assumption of Pakistan's dependency Instead of being a nation that reacts to external pressures, Pakistan has taken the initiative to build economic resilience from within while aligning with partners who respect its sovereignty and long-term growth ambition. Pakistan's defense and security landscape has undergone a remarkable transformation that has left many in the West reassessing their long-standing assumptions about the country's reliance on external military support. For decades, Western aid and defense partnerships formed the backbone of Pakistan's security apparatus, creating a perception of dependency that often limited its freedom of maneuver in international affairs. However, the recent realignment in defense and security policies shows a new Pakistan, one that is investing in its own capabilities, forging diverse military collaborations, and developing technologies that strengthen sovereignty without being bound by conditional support. One of the most significant shifts has been Pakistan's focus on indigenous defense production. By investing in local research and development, Pakistan has gradually reduced its reliance on imported military hardware. The development of advanced fighter jets, drones, and missile systems in collaboration with strategic partners has signaled to the world that Pakistan is capable of building and sustaining its own security architecture. These advancements not only enhance military strength, but also boost confidence in Pakistan's ability to protect its borders and maintain stability in a volatile region. Equally important is the diversification of defense partnerships. Instead of depending exclusively on traditional Western suppliers, Pakistan has expanded its defense cooperation with countries such as China, Turkey, and Russia. These collaborations go beyond procurement, involving technology transfer, joint exercises, and training programs that equip Pakistan's armed forces with modern skills and tools. Such diversification sends a strong message that Pakistan is no longer confined to one bloc, but is instead engaging in a multipolar security environment where sovereignty is safeguarded through choice rather than compulsion. The modernization of Pakistan's defense strategy also includes cybersecurity and counterterrorism measures. In today's world, wars are not fought solely with tanks and planes, but with information and technology. Pakistan has strengthened its intelligence networks and cybersecurity systems to counter hybrid threats, making its defense outlook more comprehensive and adaptive. This readiness to meet modern challenges underscores a proactive mindset rather than a reactive one. For the West, the most striking realization is that Pakistan is now shaping its defense future rather than waiting for external powers to dictate its direction. By upgrading its capabilities, broadening its alliances, and modernizing its strategy, Pakistan has reduced vulnerabilities that once made it dependent. This new approach redefines its place in the global security order and establishes it as a state that can no longer be underestimated. Pakistan's geographic position has always been its greatest asset. Yet, for decades, this potential remained underutilized. Recently, however, Pakistan has managed to turn its location into a strategic advantage by strengthening energy and trade corridors that connect multiple regions. This latest move has surprised many in the West, as it positions Pakistan not just as a recipient of aid or trade deals, but as a central player in global connectivity. By leveraging initiatives like the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor and strengthening ties with Central Asia, the Middle East, and even parts of Europe, Pakistan has transformed itself into a gateway between East and West, a role that brings both economic and political significance. Energy security lies at the heart of this transformation. For years, Pakistan struggled with chronic energy shortages, relying heavily on imported fuel from traditional suppliers. Today, the country has diversified its energy sources by securing new agreements with regional partners, tapping into natural gas from Central Asia, renewable energy projects, and alternative suppliers outside the West. These shifts not only stabilize domestic energy needs, but also reduce dependency on a narrow set of partners. The ripple effect of such independence is immense, as reliable energy underpins industrial growth, infrastructure development, and the expansion of trade. Trade routes have also been recalibrated to maximize Pakistan's position as a connector. The development of Gwadar port has provided an alternative hub for international shipping, one that links the Arabian Sea to landlocked Central Asia and Western China. This port is more than an economic project. It is a symbol of Pakistan's evolving role as a logistical hub for regional and global commerce. With new road and rail links being developed under regional connectivity projects, Pakistan has created fresh opportunities for transit trades that benefit not only itself, but also its neighbors. Another significant aspect of this corridor strategy is Pakistan's outreach to non-traditional markets. Instead of limiting exports to Europe and North America, Pakistan is actively building markets in Africa, Central Asia, and the Middle East. This expansion reduces vulnerability to Western market fluctuations and enhances resilience against political pressures. What has shocked the West is not simply that Pakistan is building new routes, but that it is doing so with strategic foresight. By combining energy diversification with trade expansion, Pakistan has created a sustainable model that turns its geography into power. This approach challenges outdated perceptions and highlights a confident Pakistan ready to play a central role in shaping the economic architecture of its region and beyond. Pakistan's recent conduct on the international stage has marked a clear departure from past patterns, where its policies were often shaped under the weight of external pressures. What has shocked the West is the newfound diplomatic independence Islamabad has displayed, redefining its role in global politics with a sense of confidence and balance. For years, Pakistan's foreign policy was seen as reactive, tied to the agendas of powerful allies and dictated by economic or security dependency. Now, however, Pakistan is demonstrating an ability to chart its own course, engaging with multiple global powers without leaning too heavily on any single one. This independence has been most evident in Pakistan's handling of complex global issues. In forums such as the United Nations, Pakistan has spoken with clarity and conviction, particularly on matters of regional peace, economic fairness, and climate justice. By refusing to echo narratives crafted by dominant powers and instead voicing its own perspective, Pakistan has shown that it is no longer content with a peripheral role. It has taken stands on sensitive issues while maintaining the delicate balance of relations with countries on both sides of global rivalries. This diplomatic agility is a strong indicator of a nation that seeks respect, not just survival. Equally significant has been Pakistan's ability to expand its relationships in multiple directions. While strengthening partnerships with China, Turkey, and Gulf states, it has also sought constructive engagement with Europe and continues to maintain dialogue with the United States. This approach underscores Pakistan's shift from dependency to diversity, ensuring that no single nation can dictate the terms of its foreign policy. Such diversification has surprised observers who once assumed Pakistan could not escape the influence of a single patron power. Another dimension of this independence lies in how Pakistan has managed pressure from global financial and political institutions. Instead of bowing to demands that compromise sovereignty, it has negotiated on its own terms and explored alternatives through regional financial mechanisms and partnerships. This has given Pakistan leverage it previously lacked and has sent a message that it values dignity as much as economic survival. What unsettles the West most is not merely the words Pakistan uses in global discourse, but the confidence with which those words are spoken. By adopting a posture that emphasizes equality, mutual respect, and fairness, Pakistan has set itself apart from nations that quietly conform. This diplomatic evolution reflects a country learning to stand tall in a world of shifting powers. Leadership has always played a defining role in shaping Pakistan's direction, and in recent years, the influence of visionary figures has been crucial in driving a more independent and confident national outlook. Among these leaders, Imran Khan stands out for his consistent emphasis on dignity, fairness, and self-reliance in Pakistan's dealings with the world. His tenure as Prime Minister, though controversial in domestic politics, shifted the tone of Pakistan's foreign policy by placing national pride and sovereignty at the center. This leadership factor has shocked many in the West because it demonstrated that Pakistan could articulate its own vision rather than simply echoing the positions of more powerful allies. Imran Khan repeatedly challenged the notion that Pakistan should accept aid and loans as a permanent lifeline. Instead, he promoted a mindset of self-reliance, urging the country to focus on building sustainable industries, attracting investment, and maximizing its own resources. His speeches in international forums such as the United Nations projected Pakistan as a voice for justice, whether on issues of Islamophobia, climate change, or the rights of marginalized nations. This confident articulation reshaped perceptions of Pakistan from being a reactive state to being a country unafraid to assert its moral and political position on the global stage. Beyond words, his government took steps to diversify foreign relations, avoiding over-dependence on any single bloc. The strengthening of ties with China, Turkey, Malaysia, and the Gulf was balanced with engagement in Europe and continued dialogue with the United States. This approach signaled a desire for equal partnerships, not relationships based on dominance and submission. Such a policy created discomfort for those accustomed to Pakistan following predictable lines, yet it also earned respect for its clarity of purpose. The leadership factor also included a focus on reshaping Pakistan's image globally. By emphasizing soft power through sports, tourism, and technology, Imran Khan sought to change the world's perception of Pakistan from a conflict-driven nation to one rich in culture, resilience, and opportunity. His background as a sports icon gave credibility to his vision of a strong, independent, and respected Pakistan that could compete with dignity on the global stage. This style of leadership has left a lasting imprint on Pakistan's foreign policy, even beyond his tenure. The West has been forced to acknowledge that Pakistan is no longer content with being a junior partner, and that visionary leadership has instilled in the nation a confidence to make decisions that prioritize sovereignty over dependence. Pakistan's rise on the global stage is not confined to politics or economics alone. It is also deeply connected to the growing influence of its culture, people, and ideas. Over the years, the world often viewed Pakistan through a narrow lens, associating it only with geopolitical challenges. What has shocked many in the West recently is the way Pakistan has begun to project a positive image through its soft power, creating influence that goes beyond traditional diplomacy. This shift has been driven by the success of its diaspora, its cultural footprint, and its increasing role in global conversations on technology, education, and sports. The Pakistani diaspora, spread across Europe, North America, and the Middle East, has played a critical role in reshaping perceptions. Millions of Pakistanis working abroad are not only contributing to their host countries, but also serving as bridges between cultures. They bring with them values of resilience, hard work, and innovation, helping to create a more balanced image of Pakistan that contrasts sharply with outdated stereotypes. Their contributions to fields like medicine, business, and academia have ensured that the name of Pakistan is associated with progress rather than limitation. In addition, cultural exports such as Pakistani dramas, films, and music have reached global audiences, particularly in Europe and the Middle East, where their quality and storytelling have been praised. This cultural resonance builds familiarity and reduces the distance between Pakistan and the rest of the world. Similarly, Pakistan's cuisine, fashion industry, and art are becoming increasingly popular in international markets, subtly enhancing the nation's profile and creating positive associations that political discourse alone could not achieve. Sports remain another area where Pakistan continues to showcase its identity. Cricket has been the strongest link, with Pakistani players enjoying immense respect across the globe, but the country is also making strides in other areas such as squash, hockey, and emerging talent in athletics. Sports serve as a universal language, and Pakistan's achievements in this realm resonate far beyond borders, reminding the world of its spirit of competition and excellence. Pakistan has also surprised the West by entering new conversations, particularly in technology and digital innovation. The growing startup ecosystem, driven by young entrepreneurs, is gaining international recognition, showing a side of Pakistan that is modern, creative, and forward-looking. This infusion of soft power has elevated the country's standing, proving that influence does not always come from military or political strength alone, but from the ability to connect with people across cultures in ways that inspire trust, respect, and admiration. Ladies and gentlemen, as we bring this discussion to a close, it becomes clear that Pakistan's latest moves are not isolated decisions, but part of a broader transformation, from economic diversification and defense realignment to building vital trade corridors and asserting diplomatic independence. Pakistan has shown the world that it is no longer willing to remain in the shadows of dependency. Leadership rooted in dignity and vision has given the nation confidence to speak and act on its own terms, while cultural strength and soft power have reshaped how the world sees its people and its potential. What truly shocks the West is not only the boldness of these steps, but the realization that Pakistan is redefining its place in the global order. With resilience, foresight, and balance, as the journey ahead unfolds, one thing is certain. Pakistan has entered a new era where it is determined to be respected, not overlooked, engaged as a partner, not patronized, and recognized as a nation that contributes to shaping the future rather than merely reacting to it. I wish you all the very best. May your paths be filled with growth, learning, and purpose. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your openness to understanding this evolving story. Good luck, and may we continue to share ideas that inspire and connect us all.